You are so flirty.
I'm so, I
You got
am
number
flirty.
227.
I am flirty. Dude, don't do that. Don't do that.
Sandra.
I wasn't Sandra. I was Pearl. I was in the window like, hey, baby, what's up?
I've learned that this moment that I'm going to give to you is an invitation into my heart and into my life. And I have only given it to a few people.
Okay.
I have known you for years. We've grown up together, you know, and it's a calling. Since you first told me this, the growth that you are embracing now, the voice that you are about to be, and I didn't know if you were gonna have the courage to come to this table, but now you're on a mission. And as long as we have a mission in our life, all the rest is all fair game. And courage don't cost a dime. That's what you just exhibit. And who you getting ready to touch right now? It's to the sky.
There goes my family. Man, come on up in here. Come on up in here. What's up? What's up? Woo.
I've never felt better.
Yes.
Oh my God, I feel so good. Oh my God, what a moment.
It's so good to
Why do
see
you feel
y'all,
good,
man.
Cheryl?
It's just a moment. We made it.
Yeah.
We're here together. We found a way to work through our differences.
Yes.
Isn't this wonderful? And we stayed the course.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Incredible season.
What's cooking, Sean?
I got samosas for you. This appetizer brings all the flavors of India rolled into one. These vegan potato samosas will hit from Brooklyn to Bollywood. So today, I don't even have a question for you.
What?
No questions today.
Really?
What? So, why not?
Cause I just wanted to tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all, how much we've grown here as a family, and you guys have taught me so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
The way I grew up is to understand each person individually, not make fun of people. You never know what they're going through. But, you know, I grew up with a bunch of brothers, so we made fun of everybody. But it was all in fun, and it wasn't mean-spirited.
Right.
And you guys have brought that back up in me, like, you never know what people are going through, and talk to people as from the heart, meet them where they are in life. You know
So
what
where
I mean?
did your heart take you after this season? Because you've had the first season and now this season.
Yeah.
So where did your heart take you after this season?
I think it's more of just an understanding, you know? When I came into this, it was like to help out, but now I've got more of an understanding, and I don't know.
So we're really
I can't put it into words. It's just, but it is learning.
learning?
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you think your
learning.
comfort levels changed since
Absolutely.
day one to today?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Before, it would have been like, if somebody's gay, I don't have a problem with that, but that's your life, you over there.
So what advice would you give to someone like you?
I hope that I'm being an example to
Straight guys.
an example to straight guys, but an example of love for anybody that you don't know, anybody you're meeting for the first time, anybody who's been around, who's changed their life, you know?
Because it's about change and adapting and...
Remember I told y'all I have trouble saying what I'm trying to say? Let me write it down, I'll get back to you.
We can't recognize it at all. Just so you because you didn't shift it and skirt it around and you didn't dance all behind this.
I can't say, I don't know how to say it.
Well, you know what? Even though you're struggling with the words, I feel it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Like, I
but
really do.
you know what I mean,
And
though,
we
right?
feel
Yeah,
the love.
absolutely know what you mean.
Feel
And
the love. Just
Here's the
say-
bottom line. I
Yes.
met you guys, didn't know you from Adam.
Yeah.
And in the short time we've been together, I love all of y'all. Is that better?
Feeling
Yes.
good. inside.
No, it's not better. It is what it is. Come on. Let's just
Thank you, Sean.
damn samosas.
Now, if this wig gets to sticking up back here in the back, you know, a lot of women have a problem with that. Y'all tell me, and I'll flatten it down. All right?
I will say I woke up this morning or yesterday morning, whatever morning after we had our little situation. And I said, you know what? I like Chris. I really do. And I don't want to fight ever. I really like you. I think you are so talented. You are so freaking funny. It is unbelievable.
So true.
And I'm really, really happy you're here. That is the truth.
Thank you.
We different personalities, different opinions. And in actuality, I always say, I want you to be what I want you to be. And then you look at me and say, no, you be what I want you to be. This is why I tell people, if it ain't your way, gonna be my way. And life doesn't work like that. So we agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know that we ever really.
What does it mean to agree to disagree?
For me, it is the it's okay. That is something that I will take with me from this season. I had not thought about that, but it really is a tool to use whenever you feel like you want to dislike someone for their behavior. It could be bad behavior. Tell yourself, it's okay.
Can it just be different behavior than what you're used to?
I was getting ready to
Because
say.
what happens is you have a tendency to assume attack and assume bad behavior when it's just different. You say that to me a lot. You say attack a lot. And when you say, everyone knows me, loves me, everyone that knows me thinks I'm fabulous and they love me. And then I'm going, well, I know you, but you always call me an attacker. And I'm always wondering why.
Well, first, that's in the past. So what I said in the past is in the past. You know, today, I don't feel you're attacking me. And I learned also from a friend who said that word actually triggers people because it's in itself kind of an attack. To say that you're attacking me versus I feel attacked.
Always say, I feel. No one can argue with what you feel.
I say, sorry.
So that's the point. But here's another point. When we say, and to all the parents who are listening to this moment right now, the word bad, I loved you for saying it different.
Yes.
I was told I was bad. And that was after I had my son at 12. If someone had said I made a bad mistake, or I just made a mistake, and it nurtured me, because I was a good kid. But once you tell me I'm bad, then I can become badder. I want to make sure I measure up to exactly what you said. And it took me to hell and back.
Living in the expectations of others.
Of bad.
Yeah, that word bad. So you said a wonderful thing when you just said.
I really do want to understand this idea of agree to disagree.
Okay.
I heard, you said that for you it means
cliche.
just let it go.
It's okay.
It's
There's
okay.
There's
I'm
a
sorry. It's
reason
okay.
they're
It's
doing what they're
okay.
doing. It's okay. It does not reflect who I am and how I want to behave in the world. We're independent. So I don't have to connect the two. I don't have to feel something about how someone else is behaving. It's okay, that's them.
That's them. So, because when I hear usually when people say, let's agree to disagree, it's either to avoid conflict, it's to say, well, this is the way for me to not get into it. I want to avoid a conflict. So I
Let's
just
not
want to
keep
say,
this conversation going.
let's just stop, right, let's just agree to disagree and stop the conversation. We can also agree to disagree and lean in for understanding.
Right.
So that the conversation pivots a little bit.
Exactly.
From whatever the back and forth is about, but an appreciation for where the other person is coming from.
Yes.
The only other point I want to make about that is oftentimes we also are looking for alliance of our position. And the agree to disagree is I'm not feeling that you're going to align with it the way I see it. And that's what I'm really aiming for, which to me is not about understanding at all.
Correct.
If the goal is not that we have to align, we can leave with our own perspectives. But if I can leave an exchange with you or you and have a better understanding of how you're presenting, who you're being, and you, me, I think I'll feel heard.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll feel heard.
And this world will grow.
And we'll,
Yes.
that's
what it's
that's what
about.
I'd
Yeah,
like
it's not
to
a
think of it
shutdown.
as.
That's
it. It's an open.
Yes,
opening.
it opens, yes.
Absolutely. Thank you. I just really, I think too, for people listening to us talk about that, because whenever I hear that agree to disagree, it usually is a shutdown.
Yes, it's a not an attack. It's like a, I don't know,
Let's
it's like a
just shut this
jab.
down so I don't have to cut you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, but then,
Listen, I'm not
okay, but
listening
then
to
let
you.
me.
That's what I hear when I
Yeah.
hear. let's agree to disagree. I'm done listening to you.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
point.
I think for some people, it's the idea that I don't hear you able to listen to me. So
Okay.
I'm now saying, let's agree to disagree because I don't hear your ability
Okay.
to stop your voice from dominating my voice.
So how could you finesse a situation like that?
Well, we had a guest on the show, and they did that to me.
How did that feel? What happened?
They said, well, that's your opinion.
I remember that episode.
You remember that episode? And I said, it absolutely is, because my opinion is my voice. So that then...
How did you feel about that person saying it? Because I remember, I'm not going to interpret what your body
I felt
language
disregard.
was. Okay, that's what I sensed.
I felt
when it
disregard
Love the
to the
honesty.
idea that you have... I'm saying what I'm saying, and we're now at this dinner table, and we're having a conversation. And now I said something that you may not have agreed with, but you decided to say, but that's your opinion, so that you cut me off before I finished talking.
So let me ask, can I ask you another question about that? I remember this very distinctly.
Yeah.
think
And I
we all
also
do.
felt it. And there was a level of restraint that I also felt from you
Absolutely.
in that moment that you
Absolute-
sometimes don't afford your co-hosts.
Yes, because
And
it
so
happens
wait
to...
a minute, listen, let me finish. That's not my question. I'm setting up my question. So my question is, what is the difference?
That he was a guest.
What you said, each one of you.
So there's
And
something
I've
about
had that happen from my co-hosts more often.
Okay, there's something about a familiar. I'm gonna say this.
Yes.
Please come in. There's
And I
something
love-
about a
I
familiar.
love where you going.
There's
Hey,
something.
oh,
my
Antonio, I
God.
love where you going. I love where you going. Because where there was a guest, I said, and I'm sure the cameras caught all of my eye rolls and like, okay, here we go.
But what you're
Because
saying,
I can't play
I love
poker
it.
at all. It's all in my face. Y'all all see my face. Y'all all see my face. I can't hide it in my face. I can't.
excuse me for a second.
And so,
When you finish, please.
go ahead.
No,
No,
I'm practicing.
go right ahead.
I'm practicing cutting people
She's
off.
practicing
That's
a
one of my
note that
bad
you've
habits.
actually given her. So
Once you
don't
finish,
toss
then
it
I'll
back. Go ahead.
And so that what happens is that for me, it's that moment where I said as a guest, so that now for my family, because what do we tell everybody that they are when they come here?
Family.
Family.
So that what are we?
Family.
So that when my family disregards me, I feel differently.
Ah. There we
Okay.
go.
So that then if a stranger does it, I'll take a beat. I'll hold back. I'll sit back. But when my family does it, it's more offensive because you know me. You already understand. You're clear.
Cheryl did something a moment ago, and that's why I said she took a note, because you've given her a note.
To stop interrupting me.
Correct. And she caught herself and yielded you the floor.
And then I gave it to her.
But it took you a minute. Your initial reaction was no, go.
Because
So-
because
Right.
of my past.
Right,
That
right.
It keeps happening. I
So
keep getting
the
back.
healing, well, that's,
And then what did I do? I gave her the floor.
you did. How'd you feel about giving her the floor?
I felt fine because she rescinded in a kind, respectful manner. And I respond to people who behave in a kind, respectful manner.
Awesome.
When you don't communicate to me in a kind, respectful manner, then I don't respond that way.
Got you. Sure, I said I was gonna be quiet. Have at it.
Well, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, I am definitely practicing because we can lie to ourselves. I always say, a person can make their mouth say anything. Watch this. A person can make their mouth say anything. But I know that I tend to cut people off before they finish their thought. And that was brought to me. And if I really want to do some interwork, the only thing that's gonna make me feel okay with me, then I have to put that in practice. And it's challenging, and I thank you all for bringing that up for me. The final part, what I really know more than ever now, because we had a whole breakout, arguing. We had to everybody got shut down. When we had the breakdown, I want to make the point, and the point is this: what I know today, that if an outside force can truly dictate your peace, nobody has the control over you whatsoever. You go off when you want to, and that's a perfect example. Like you said, when the guest, that was a guest. You don't like it when we do it, because we family. I love you, Chris.
Thanks.
I do. And no outside force will ever dictate my peace. I'm in control of me, and I want
for you,
peace
Cheryl.
inside of me.
I know you are working right
I
now.
really do.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
of course.
So what is this, Sean?
Chicken tikka masala. Chicken tikka masala will surely have you thanking your lucky stars. Your taste buds will be in heaven after trying the roasted marinated chicken served in a spicy curry sauce that holds all the flavors of South Asian cuisine. Enjoy.
Right.
My favorite. Thank
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
So this is a big moment for me because I've never done this. I don't want to get emotional so fast, but
Please.
I've learned that this moment that I'm going to give to you is an invitation into my heart and into my life. And I have only given it to a few people.
Okay.
So this is my pill box.
Wow.
And I call this little thing here, this one, today's Saturday, call this my self-esteem vitamin.
Wow.
And I take it every day. And that's it. I have no side effects. And what that does is it keeps me healthy, keeps my immune system strong, and
Courage, baby.
yes,
I love you.
so, my little pill, because she don't want no big pill. I had to light it up with a little RuPaul, but yeah. I don't even like saying I'm HIV positive. I prefer saying I'm living with untransmittable HIV.
Excellent.
Because by taking this pill every day, it is impossible for me to transmit the virus to someone else.
This is remarkable.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
What was it about? What did I say that?
You said the word positive. This show has been very positive.
And you just made a positive move for me.
Yeah, just that act had the ripple effect of that will be.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us in.
Amazingly brave.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
yes, yes, yes.
I lost a friend years ago when these pills in this box were not available. And he was my best friend. His name is Jace. And I'm glad that you are living, surviving, and teaching and
Thriving.
providing an experience for people to grow and learn and love without fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like clapping right there.
Thank you for that.
There's really nothing to be afraid of. The worst part would be, the fear of how people will treat you. And what you find is nowadays there are people like you who will just treat you no differently.
At all.
Not at all. So that fear kept me from getting tested for a long time.
Wow.
But I have to say that
Please let the tears flow. Because they're tears of healing and courage. And man, I love you.
there are so many people that are afraid to get tested. I was fortunate because I actually was at a bathhouse and I told the guy I got tested regularly for other STIs. Because, you just take a pill or get a shot and then you're done. And so I wanted to know, frequently, every 2 weeks I was getting tested. But I would always, he was like, do you want the HIV test? I would always say no. And one time, he went ahead and did it anyway. It didn't even tell me, without my permission, and didn't even tell me that he took the test. But as I was walking out, he just handed me a card, said HIV negative. And the same thing happened just a couple months later. But this time it was positive. So I know that I caught it so early after years of not being tested. And so my immune system is just as strong as it's always been.
So as we communicate to the community, were you actively engaging in unprotected sex? Was this
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And that's why I call it my self-esteem pill, because I could have been using condoms, I could have been on PrEP, but I declined. I didn't want to be on PrEP, and I just wanted connection. I had low self-esteem. That's when Cheryl says dis-ease in the mind, disease in the body. That's what happened to me. The stress in my mind about my identity and will people accept me and why won't people love me? I just want to be free. All of that stress, just put it in. Because I'll feel love for these moments.
These moments, yeah. I'm glad you brought this to the conversation as well. So I'm of a generation where we have lived through so much loss. You were talking about, your friend, and one of our guests said something to me, actually it was Bevy, and she recognized me as someone from a generation that many did not survive.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that was a very touching moment because I often don't think about that. And I often don't think about the tremendous amount of loss. Hundreds, of friends, talented people. And the self-esteem piece is so important because not only does it make the difference in how you treat yourself and how you allow yourself to be treated, because there are people who have gotten infected not from bad behavior or being reckless. There are people who have gotten infected just accidentally, unknowingly, particularly in the early days. But I tell you, that self-esteem has been the difference in those that survived.
Ooh.
Because once that took hold, I saw so many just deteriorate because they didn't have that self-concept. They didn't have the strength to fight, to know that they deserve to live. I can't tell you how many people I saw come to LA and New York and all of the big cities to chase their dreams, find themselves HIV positive. And what ended up happening, I would see it over and over and over, is they would then go back home to die, basically. Because they would go back home hoping to be recognized, hoping to be embraced. And they've been away.
Yep.
And then they came back as something diseased and dirty and nobody wanted to touch them and they would just die.
Die from
And I would tell
pain.
people,
Yes.
don't go back home. You'd be
Right on.
better to stay here
Right on.
with people who love you.
I hear you.
Bevy talked about going to support different organizations, and she's been doing this. So she used to go on her lunch hour to visit people in the hospital back in the day. Stay in a place, and that's why this is so important too. I'm glad you call it your self-esteem pill, because that's going to be so important. And surround yourself with people who love you like we do.
Yes,
and friends and family, those that do, those that don't, handle with a long handled spoon, as my grandmother would say. So thank you so much for opening that up.
And let me say, I have known you for years. We've grown up together, and it's a calling. Since you first told me this, the growth that you are embracing now, the voice that you are about to be, and I didn't know if you were gonna have the courage to come to this table, but now you're on a mission. And as long as we have a mission in our life, all the rest is all fair game. And courage don't cost a dime. That's what you just exhibit. And who you getting ready to touch right now is to the sky. And that's real talk. I kind of don't want you to go back home.
I'm going out. I have an apartment, and I was afraid.
You got my living room couch.
with my mom and my sister, and I picked out an apartment because I said I don't want to be here, and it's painful to even say that, but we haven't been close enough. I think the healing that has happened on this season, I'm okay now. I could go back there and disclose to them, but we haven't been there prior to now. So that's why I had to have my own space so that there's no different looks and, oh, I can't use this silverware. And
Oh, wow.
I couldn't handle that. I just could not handle that.
Did you speak? You're already speaking somewhere. Am I right?
Yes, I had the opportunity to do a congressional briefing to speak on behalf of a new bill from Barbara Lee to convince Congress and their staff to pass this bill to do a study of all the laws in all the states, because there's still 32 states in the U.S. that criminalize just having HIV. So laws, penalties will be stiffer for people with HIV, or I can be charged or arrested for not disclosing, even though I take my medication every single day and I cannot pass the virus to anyone. So what ends up what these laws end up doing is it incentivizes people to do what I did, which is not get tested. Because if I don't know, I can't be punished.
That's right.
And that is what continues to this day in many states.
Great point.
Yes. And that's why, that was part of why I didn't want to get tested. I knew it would change my life and not a good way. So it is very important.
So you wanted to continue your activity without the fear of
Liability.
the repercussions.
The repercussions, it
Liability,
wasn't
yeah.
even a fear of the virus.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew I could get the virus, but I knew the virus is going to be dormant for many years. And, I can live 30 years or however many years, and then eventually at the end, I'll waste away. But I wasn't afraid of the virus. I was afraid of the stigma and the legal repercussions.
Yeah.
Wow.
What message do you give the youngsters right now to somebody?
I always disliked when people were like, get tested, know your status. It made me uncomfortable. It's like, the problem isn't that. It's these other things. It's the stigma that's the problem. Go talk about the stigma. Don't tell me to get tested. Don't invite me into this life of discrimination. So I can't say that right now. I can't say that. I can say, let's pass some laws that stops criminalizing HIV. And once we do that, let's create an atmosphere that people want to get tested and they want to know and they want to take their pill if they need it. Let's do that.
I'm sitting here a little bit in awe that this is still where we are in 2022. I'm stunned in some ways. And it's like anything else, I lived through a particular era and, things have changed, but as much as things change, they stay the same. And so I think the fact that you're speaking out, you've already transformed this into something where you're wanting to affect policy. I mean, these are the kinds of things that we were doing in the 80s.
Wow.
And we're still having to do them in 2022, but I'm glad we're doing them. And good on you for doing that work. Because what you're doing is very powerful, it's important, and anybody who's watching, who's thinking, and nobody's talking about HIV no more, everybody's talking about COVID. A lot of people were very skeptical about the COVID vaccine, but a lot of the components that built the COVID vaccine came out of AIDS work.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
So all of that reach, but what's interesting about it is we were able to turn a vaccine for COVID around very quickly. And we're 40 years into an epidemic that we keep getting right at the threshold. So, and I know I'm about to say something that's controversial, but we do live in a capitalist society.
Yes.
And what we have now is, as much as you've talked about the power of those pills, that's a money machine.
Yes.
There's billions of dollars being made. And I'm not saying that I think they should be being taken. But we've created a situation where this is what is required to have a quality of life. And then it also makes it less important to come up with a cure because that shuts the money pipeline off.
It's that.
So,
It really does.
I mean, and I'm not trying to be, conspiracy theory or anything like that. It's just really us understanding how money moves.
But I will say this because I've heard you say something very similar, but this is truly a good thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, these pills have changed my life for the better.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean like, oh, because I'm healthy. No, when I say this is my self-esteem pill, when I take it, I'm like, I'm worth it. I'm worth the effort
Absolutely.
to take care of my health. And this new confidence I've heard people talk about here on set, I think this is why. This is why I've grown
Can I
this
ask
season.
you an uncomfortable question?
Yes.
Does this also make your life feel better because now you feel that you can't transmit it to someone else?
I think it makes me feel better to finally have self-esteem. You know,
But
Uh-huh.
hear what I'm saying. There's something about what this allows you to be able to do. It allows you to be able to and still engage in unprotected sex and feel in some way that you are not going to endanger someone else. Does that in any way add to that sense of comfort for you?
I will say that I would not have sex. I did not have sex when I first found out.
Why not?
Because I certainly would not want to pass it on to someone else. So,
But
Good for
then
you.
this,
Good for
but
you.
now taking this, is that still the same?
I do have sex. I do disclose. I found that surprisingly, particularly in the Black community, and more people than I anticipated are okay. Because actually, the latest statistic is 1 in 2 Black men who have sex with men either are HIV positive or will become HIV positive in their lifetime.
Okay, Cheryl, before we went to the break, you said that you wanted to ask Aaron something about Congress.
Yes, how it happened. So I just got hired at the Black AIDS Institute.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm very excited, and that's what I'll be doing when I leave here, educating, particularly in the South. Apparently there's a lack of information about HIV, and it's kind of surprising. We're like, what? I thought everyone knows, but apparently, people don't know.
I have a question. So you got that note passed to you, and you saw it said positive. Could you have even imagined all these doors that seemingly has opened from that pivotal moment?
I was watching a masterclass by Robin Roberts, and one of the chapters is called "Your Mess Is Your Message." And so I had been watching that before I got my diagnosis, and so it just was in my head. It took about maybe a month or two. Once I came to terms with, okay, this is just what I need to do. I need to take, probably the first week, I'm like, I can't take this pill every day and view it as something negative. Like, if I don't take this, I'm gonna die. It's gonna create depression every single time I have to take it. So I had to flip it into something positive. And I'm like, I didn't protect myself. I didn't. I could have. I deliberately said I don't want to take PrEP. I deliberately didn't want to use condoms. And I had to come to terms with that. It's like, I didn't feel worth the effort. I had low self-esteem. And that's okay. That's okay, but that's about to change. And that's what I started doing, and it became a great thing. And what these pills do is it prevents the virus from attacking my immune system.
Do you want people to get tested? Do you want people after they get tested to use protection? How do you feel about that?
I want people to have self-esteem. I want people, because we as Black queer people, it is like we're raised to have low self-esteem, to believe that there's something wrong with us, especially of the effeminate side of the family, I guess.
I used drugs February 11th, 1985. So that was the last time I used drugs. So I've been through the criminal justice system, and you gon' get tested in there. And at this point in my life, I'm abstinence, It's probably been about 2-3 years, maybe 2.5, 3 years since I've had sex. So,
I'm glad you
I think
spoke
it's
to that.
our responsibility. The saddest thing is we really feel like it doesn't feel the same with a condom. That is so ridiculous. Of course, in our community, from my understanding, Black women are.
Yeah, one of the highest, fastest growing, or I need to learn. I really have a lot to learn, so I don't want to pretend to be an expert.
Yeah.
But I will say something that I just learned from Grizel Howard, the president of the board of Black AIDS Institute, that 2030 is the year that it is expected or predicted that HIV AIDS epidemic will end in the United States. 2030, okay? But it will end 5 years earlier, 2025. That is in just a couple years in white America.
Interesting.
5 extra years, Black people will be passing the virus to each other because we're not getting tested, we're not getting treated.
That's a really
That's a powerful visual.
I know. Wow.
Thank you. Greetings, distinguished members and staff of the United States Congress. My name is Aaron Johnson Levy, and I'm the creator and co-host of the Black LGBTQIA+ talk show called The House on the FOXSOUL network.
Thinking about our guests that have been here for this season, do you have a guest that has been incredibly memorable and they've left a nugget that you just can't resist? Like, you can't wait for them to come back to the house?
I do.
Okay. All right.
So, first I'm gonna say, and I'm not just saying it, I thought the guest lineup, not only this season, last season was incredible, this season was incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
We are getting such incredible people.
Yes.
Before I share my moment, I do want to also say one of the things that really has touched me with our guests is, hands down, and this is no exaggeration, every single one of them said to me how comfortable, how different, how unique this interview experience was of any they've ever had. Every single guest.
Every one of them.
Oh
said
my
that.
Did you hear Bevy? Bevy
Yes.
said she has never been on a set this real in her life.
No, where we actually ate the food.
Yes. So that, I just, that's memorable. That's memorable, I think, because
Major.
it's what we say
Major.
we want to do,
No
right?
doubt.
But the guests that were, there was 2 actually that were really memorable. So I have to give a shout out to Suede, because the scene that we did, he took me to a place that most people don't get that level of access to, and to be a stranger, in essence, meeting him for the first time. But there was something about, and he and I talked about it after the show as well, there's something about the quality of care in his energy and his ability to communicate that very clearly and allow you to trust it. So that was a memorable moment. And the other one I kind of alluded to a moment ago when I talked about, I had a brief conversation in the makeup room after the show with Bevy, and we're from the same generation.
Yes.
And there's something very powerful with humans in terms of having another human being look at you and recognize you.
Yes, it's the recognition.
It's the recognition. And that's what she offered me
That's love.
in the dressing room. It
Yes.
was recognition, which was love. So those are some of my memorable moments,
Yes.
and there were many.
Absolutely. How about you, Cheryl?
Everyone. I wish I could pick one. I'm sitting here trying to figure out pick one. I learned so much, so many different personalities, so many different moments of laughter. That daggone Funky Dineva. Oh my God. Me and Funky Dineva had an exchange before the show. And we just went gutter real quick with each other. Okay, I'm a rapper inside. But yeah, Funky Dineva and sitting down with Amani. I mean, it's just so many. There's none. Jurl. I mean, we could go on and on.
I went and offered oral sex to Fresh, one of our producers. I did.
She the one.
I've never done it before, but that was going to be my first time. For
I can
bringing.
tell you how to spread. If you like. I remember from back in the day. Okay, I'll give you some tips.
But yeah, it was after Amber's Closet. I will vote for her for president. I truly believe she has everything that it takes to make it.
Yes.
Wow.
And I love the representation. Black lesbians are so underrepresented, and I just am a big cheerleader for her.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Would you tell us yours when we come back from break?
Absolutely.
moments? What are some of your memorable moments?
Oh my God, there's so many. Okay. So, so many of the guests this season touched me in a lot of personal ways. So,
Backstage?
Oh, yeah, that too. But okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later.
You like,
But
think about it like.
I did. Shh. You got to know my business. Okay, Tina, you ain't got to do all that. So Anthony Cherry was, as a fellow hairstylist, I had to embrace him, and it was a little hard for me to get there because I felt that our energy wasn't necessarily aligned at the beginning, but. When I realized that we have more in common, and sometimes that is what happens, you know, because I feel that sometimes from even, you know, at the table, that our energies may not be aligned, but we may still be on the same page and not realize that. And so I felt that and felt the love towards the end of the show. So I really loved the dinner with him. Benjamin Carter, I have to say, because with Benjamin, okay, because being a PK and then all of the religious kind of things that was coming through that, and then I was kind of shady with you about the little Jesus wig, and so, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
You know. I mean, it was just because we had just had a moment with him where we had talked about, you know, kind of what's in the Bible versus what's represented at the world at large that people see, and that then this sort of idea of the white America and the oppression of that, and what are those visuals, versus what is our understanding. And so that was kind of what that was intended. And it wasn't intended for you specifically, but it was a trigger because of that episode for me. Oh God, one of my other favorites was Amani.
Oh, and Eric.
Amani and her nephew. Oh Lord, when
And
I
Eric,
tell
yes,
you,
yes.
this spirit, this soul, this energy that just came in here, and I just felt like she just gave so much love to the house. She was like sage, just came through, and we just burned her, and she just came through. I became everything she wanted me to become. You know, I don't know what I became. I might have came, but I didn't know what I became. But it was so good. But I have to say, and I don't know if y'all kind of felt this way or not, but I have to say when DeMarco was here, now I felt the way because he was a very handsome gentleman.
It's true.
But
You were so flirty.
I
You got
am
number
flirty.
227?
I am flirty. Dude, don't do that. Don't do that.
Sandra.
I wasn't Sandra. I was Pearl. I was in the window like, hey, baby, what's up? What's up? I need an ice cream. Give me.
It's funny that you do that because I was thinking Chris is like Blanche Devereaux.
Yeah, it gives back Devereaux vibes. But I'm sorry, we take you out of
Okay,
your
I'm sorry.
memorable
No.
moment. Go ahead, go on back there.
It's okay.
So you were
I'm
feeling
going back.
DeMarco.
I was.
Under the table.
Okay, sweetie, you mind your business. See, here you go. All under the table. Used to it, though. And so I in no way, and so I am saying this to the world of people who actually have been abducted and abused in any way. I support you. I believe in you and I love you. This situation that we have just presented on this show, I need more answers to these questions. Am I the only one?
Maybe we should have him back. Maybe we
I
should
gotta
have him back.
have him back. I was traumatized. I cried. I don't never cry. So I was sitting there like, I can't.
Well, did y'all have me crying that episode too?
No, you ain't crying. You don't never cry.
Did I?
child.
Well, maybe
What
it's
happened? One of
common.
those
You know, maybe
episodes.
date, rape, drugs are more common than we realize.
Yeah, probably.
I've never been date raped, so I don't even know.
I have been roofied.
You have?
I have been roofied
How did you know?
roofied?
How did you know that you were?
because I woke up in a place that I didn't know where I was.
Oh, wow.
That's
But-
a telltale sign.
But what ended up happening was, fortunately, like it's like my second beer of the night. I was just like, so I know it wasn't. I didn't
You didn't
overdrink,
get drunk.
and I know who gave me the drink. And my
Were
cousin.
you with them when you woke up?
No, I wasn't because
Did you feel like something had happened to you?
No, I'll get there because I asked my cousin, and I started to feel a little woozy, and I just immediately I'm like, let's go, just take me to the bathhouse, and because the bathhouse is very close, And I was probably gonna spend the night there anyway. After the bar, just dropped me off the bathhouse. I'll spend the night there. And then I woke up under the piano in the bathhouse. Like, there's a little area with a curtained off area. So
You have a piano in the bathhouse? What kind of bathhouse is this?
bathhouses used to
That'd
be.
entertainment spot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Bette Midler
Got started
That's
in
a
the
whole nother
bathhouse,
episode.
performing in bathhouses.
Child, I didn't know it.
know.
I
Oh,
didn't know
yeah,
it was that
yeah.
fancy. Okay.
So I was aware, cognizant enough to go in and find a hidden place. And I just went under a piano, and then that's where I woke
That's
up.
got to be scary, man.
wow.
Every time I ever got high, it's because I wanted to. I couldn't even imagine somebody date raping me, man. That's
Watch your drinks.
deep. Yes.
I mean, when you're out, don't leave your drink. If you walk away from your drink,
It's done.
it's done. When you come back, don't
That's
drink
great
it
info.
again. I've
Yes.
always operated with that.
Good for
I
you.
either carry my cup in my hand or my glass or whatever it is, but if I sit it down and walk away, it's a wrap.
Also, taking drinks from people is
Yeah.
a risk.
Good
Yeah.
point.
It is.
At the bar, I watch.
Oh,
Yes.
Because there's
For
so
someone else.
many there's so much shenanigans.
maybe for someone else we can watch too.
You can watch for your. I'm glad you said that.
I
The
love
going out with
that.
friends.
I love
Yes.
that.
I never thought
I
about it.
never let my friends.
No,
I'm a really, like you have to be a
exactly,
responsible
exactly.
friends, but you get
We
a
talked
couple
about
cocktails.
allies before, and like the
Yeah.
idea, just being a friend. And if you're out, just keep an eye out.
But then what happens is they get a couple cocktails, they start getting all hot in the pants and
yeah.
start sniffing up on some action. And
There
then
we
next
go.
thing you know, they like, I have to, no, that ain't how you going home. We came together,
Right.
we leaving together.
for
Now,
you.
when I drop you off at your house, you can call Trade and let Trade come get you. But you ain't leaving up out of here.
Right.
You don't know.
That's true. That's true.
So, anything you've learned this season?
Okay, yes.
Whoa. That
What
looks
we
good.
got here?
This looks good.
I might be lactose intolerant. I might be a little gassy after this. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
okay, nobody minds.
All right.
We family here. Laddu and Faluda. Two desserts are better than one. These Indian desserts are paired to perfection. Bright and colorful, these babies pack flavor. Laddus are coconut, ghee, and condensed milk chilled together. Faluda is an ice cream-based drink mixed with sweet basil seeds, mango puree, and rice noodles.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Sean. Shout out, Sean.
Wonderful.
Here's something I learned this season.
Yes.
I did not realize the level of commitment and dedication and hard work it takes to produce a TV show. We think about the Hollywood dream being here in front of the camera. I want to say thank you to you all for allowing me to be a part of your dream.
Oh, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
beautiful. Yes, yes.
I love
Yes,
that
look at
emotion
Joe.
from you with that.
Oh, you guys. And I'll come in from there to say, be careful what you ask for. You really might get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm now in a position that all my life I've chased this. And now here I sit. And now I can't believe how many thoughts I've had about this is commitment. This takes effort. Dealing with people's personalities. I never took no heat from nobody, and they got smoke afterwards. You feel me? But today I'm not that person. So now I'm like, Dad, I asked for this. Sit in it. Figure out how to deal with it. And take a mirror and look. Because believe me, oh Lord, I can't even tell you. Aaron said I act real good on camera. Keep a daggone camera on me. Daggone.
That is so true.
Oh.
I think what I've learned is really the power of the table. To have the guests come and feel that love and use this table, use this platform to share their authentic self in places that many, many people don't get to do. Right? There's so many people that's living their dream, but there's always this fear that it might be snatched away if someone really saw them, if someone really knew who they were. And so I'm just so happy that we can do this, and I learned how powerful it is because when you feel it, the energy of the people saying, well done, well done. It's been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you? What'd you learn?
I'm glad that you love that.
What'd you learn, Chris?
This experience for me has been the joy of meeting people who function in a space that I may not understand, or I may have a lack of clarity, and they sit here as our guests, and they provide that moment of clarity and understanding that brings me to a place of newness and knowingness when I may not have known. That's okay.
That's the theme. That's okay.
That's okay, because I live in my authenticity. So that for me, that is what is important for me. And I feel like this platform has given me an opportunity to give other people that opportunity to let their voice be heard.
Bring on season 3.
All right.
That's
See there.
welcome to the house,
To the house, to the house. Welcome to the house.
Joy is eternal. Let no one dictate your peace.